And so, when couples come to me, oftentimes, and come to anybody, this is the first thing I would tell them. I say, number one, when you get married, there's two things you need to do. Be very careful about this. Number one, before you get married, talk to your fiancé and discuss the role that your parents are going to have in your lives. One of the pacts I tell them to make, I say, make a pact among yourselves that you will honor and love each other's spouse. In other words, when you get married, a wife and a husband adopt their in-laws, their spouse, parents on the other side, as their own parents. That's what ideally should happen, as your own parents. That's important. Now, obviously, you're not their parents. And it takes some time of respect and trust and love to be built up over time. Because how can a daughter or a son just love somebody else's parents? The first few years, they're learning how to do that. They're learning how to do that. A lot of love and understanding has to happen. It doesn't happen overnight. But that's ideally what you want to do. And the reasoning is like this. If you love your spouse and you realize the price that his parents have paid in his life, then you love their parents because they took care of your spouse when you were young, when they were young. That's very simple, isn't it? The love is a mutual love. And it's important that we make a decision that love will remain. However, we must understand, and parents must understand, that a couple needs the space. They need the privacy. They need the freedom to make their own decisions. They need the time to grow. And so, God says very simply, for this reason, a man and a woman should what? Leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. And I often recommend, I don't enforce it, obviously don't, but I often strongly suggest that if it's possible in any way, a couple, when they get married, moves out. They can get a simple single apartment. They can rent a little apartment if they need to, at least for the first 1-2 years of their marriage. Now, unless the wife is a widow, or husband is a widow, or they've got aged parents or ailing parents, that's not wrong. Because God put that wisdom in it. And I've seen in so many cases where that wisdom is not followed sometimes. 7 out of 10 cases, there's problems in the marriage. Shouldn't be. When a couple moves out, you can move just to the next door. Or have a room with a private entrance, and that's fine. You can move a few blocks away, as long as your parents don't need your help. But you know what it does? It allows the husband and wife to build their own relationship and get to know one another while they can still have a great relationship with their parents and have mutual trust and love built between them. And we carry on that wonderful decision, this relationship. Does it make sense? Now your parents might have a wonderful home. Let me say, come stay with us. And that may be very tempting to do. But I always say you might want to rent a simple home, very small home. But you need to leave, and your parents need to encourage you to do that. I encourage people, parents, you need to encourage your people to leave the safety nest of your home and go build home sweet home and learn how to run a home on your own. No financial strings attached. Learn to stand on your own feet. Now, I'll come back to an important thing about what happens when our parents get older. And that comes to honoring and loving your parents, because there's a very important commandment about it. And I'm kind of really happy I'm talking about the subject. But think about this. Leaving. Now, leaving does not mean desertion at all. Leaving just means that God wants this to happen. Why is that important? Why did God in His wisdom, and why did Jesus strongly talk about this topic? I think it's obvious. Now think with me. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. Why did God do that? Because in any son's life, in any daughter's life, in any people's life, there are important people. There's a mother that loves him very much, and he loves very much. Then there's a wife, and he needs to build this relationship with his wife. Now, think with me, what can easily happen. A mother has looked after her child from the time he was a baby, 0 to 22, 25. She has cleaned his diapers. They were connected. There is food that was served. There was looking after and caring. There's 1,000 things she's done for this little boy. And now he grows up. And at 25 years old, or 27 years old, or 30 years old, he gets married. And it's very easy for the mom, unless she's a very godly, very loving, very caring, very mature person, it's very easy for her, without even realizing it, without even voicing it, for her to feel a little bit, just a little bit envious, or a little bit different about how, this new young lady has taken the place of her role in this person's in her heart. And that's not that's not how he even thinks about it, but that's possible that it can happen. And she just feels she doesn't feel, so she always thinks in her heart, can this young lady care for him like I did? Can this young lady cook for him like I did? And the answer is, oh no. Oh no! Nobody can love him like I did. And maybe that's true. Nobody can cook for him like I did. And I want the answer to be no. It takes a very loving, very caring, very mature person to actually want and adopt a person as their own daughter and treat her just like a daughter. And then there could be an amazing friendship that develops. Now think with me about it.